SCP-4526. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-4526 is essentially self-containing and does not pose a security risk because of its exclusive manifestation within Foundation sites. All appearances of SCP-4526 should be reported to SCP-4526 Research Director Donnelly and the Foundation Researchers Union SCP-4526 Liaison. The SCP-4526 Research Director is tasked with documenting all SCP-4526 manifestations and adding all manifested items to the standard storage room in Site-57. Description: SCP-4526 is an entity that manifests in approximately 2% of grievance adjudications between employees and managerial staff of the Foundation. SCP-4526 resembles a humanoid male, 1.57 meters, 5'2" in height. It is seemingly Caucasian, between 50 and 60 years of age, has a stocky build, and male pattern baldness. It identifies itself as Jimmy, no last name. SCP-4526 will manifest in close proximity of the room and Foundation property where grievance adjudications are occurring. It will walk into the room, claim to be the employee's union representative, and demand a favorable decision for its client. Successful attempts to physically restrain SCP-4526 causes it to demanifest, then reappear outside of the adjudication room, repeating the process. SCP-4526 has proven impervious to gunshots, stabbing, blunt force trauma, conceptual jamming, metaphorical dissolution, and other comparable physical and petaphysical assaults. In all observed circumstances, it continues to voice support for its client in any state of injury or disassembly. Thus far, employees represented by SCP-4526 have experienced a 100% success rate at these adjudications, with all winning favorable judgments. SCP-4526 does not appear to have any anomalous compulsory effect over Foundation administrative judges. Rather, SCP-4526 succeeds in proving its case by making references to information that should be impossible to obtain. SCP-4526 has been able to produce visual and auditory evidence, including video recordings within Foundation facilities. People targeted by these recordings do not report being aware of anyone filming their activities. In all cases, the evidence demonstrates misconduct or violations of Foundation policy. Destruction of these items prior to conclusion of the adjudication invariably leads to SCP-4526 producing an identical copy. Research into the physical evidence produced by SCP-4526 has thus far found them not to be cognitohazards or anomalous in any respect. The actual Union representatives who were to attend these meetings report no knowledge of these events. Representatives genuinely claim to have gotten lost on their way to the adjudication, or to have simply forgotten that it was scheduled for that day. Appendix: Abbreviated SCP-4526 Manifestation Log. For access to the full SCP-4526 Manifestation Log, contact Research Director Donnelly at Site-57. Case Number 12. SCP-4526 Manifestation. Presented statistical analysis demonstrating that Foundation's goals were not being served most effectively by policy of racial segregation at facilities in the southern United States. Outcome: employee reinstated with payback, Foundation-wide desegregation policy adopted. Note: first documented appearance of SCP-4526. Grievance Adjudication Number 133. SCP-4526 Manifestation. During cross-examination, presented knowledge of an incriminating private conversation between two managers who were standing in the isolation zone surrounding SCP redacted. Outcome: employee reinstated with back pay. Foundation soon after adopts maternity leave policy. Note: Attempts to neutralize SCP-4526 unsuccessful. Grievance Adjudication Number 457. SCP-4526 Manifestation. Presented film reel of O5 redacted orchestrating event that led to the career-ending injury of the employee. Outcome: decision to revoke employee's pension benefits was reversed. Note: attempt to neutralize SCP-4526 unsuccessful, then O5 redacted retires. Case Number: Grievance Adjudication Numbers 469 through 669. SCP-4526 Manifestation. SCP-4526 did not manifest at any of 200 successive mock adjudications that were designed to ensnare it. Outcome: not applicable. Note: no attempt could be made to neutralize SCP-4526. Grievance Adjudication Number 1335. SCP-4526 Manifestation. Presented an extremely detailed timeline predicting future events that culminated in an XK-class scenario as a result of one member of senior personnel mishandling anomalous objects. Conclusion of adjudication was postponed to test the veracity of the predictions. All short-term events occurred. Outcome: employee reinstated. Proposed policy eliminating grievance adjudications was reversed. Notes: repeated attempts to neutralize SCP-4526 during this time were unsuccessful. Grievance Adjudication Number 1338. SCP-4526 Manifestation. Redacted. Outcome: employees reinstated. All objects returned to containment. All defector sites returned to Foundation control without violence. Full pardons granted to Union leadership. Policy eliminating all staff unions in Foundation reversed. Note: no attempt was made to neutralize SCP-4526 at this time. Addendum: May 16, 2013. Researchers have been able to engage in conversation with SCP-4526 during its appearances at adjudications. SCP-4526 refuses to talk to Foundation personnel that it perceives as being a part of or aligned with managerial staff. In these conversations, SCP-4526 has expressed familiarity with a number of other anomalies, showing a special affinity for SCP-1017 and SCP-1006. As the best available avenue for understanding SCP-4526, investigation into possible connections between these anomalies is still underway. Note: the following message is only accessible by high clearance personnel. Dear Senior Personnel, the researchers are, quite frankly, pursuing what they know to be a dead end with this investigating the connections nonsense. It's hard to maintain professionalism after a certain point when dealing with this farce. Why do you think progress in neutralization has been so slow? SCP-4526 should be considered extremely dangerous. It is an anomalous entity that has found a way to ensure its freedom and self-preservation by integrating itself with the very people who should be tasked with containing it. Let me be clear. This anomaly is bent on sowing chaos within the Foundation and bending our affairs to its will. In any other situation, this conversation would be unnecessary. We cannot allow it to just roam our sites, collect an unbelievable amount of sensitive information, and do God knows what when we can't see it. We considered using counter memes to come up with an evil twin that would manifest just as often to support our side at the hearings, thus allowing for at least some equilibrium. Still, at the end of testing, we could not guarantee that we wouldn't just get another version of this short fuck who showed up 98% of the time. So no, this is not a route we are interested in further exploring at this time. Continue to encourage neutralization, regardless of what the researchers have put on this page. Sincerely, Labor Relations Specialist Redacted. Addendum: June 13th, 2013. Further investigation into SCP-4526 has raised the possibility that some of the materials it's producing during adjudication may later come to possess a cognitohazard affecting the scales in proportion to an individual's level of responsibility within the Foundation. While not dangerous during adjudication, later investigation of the material may produce symptoms that include headaches, confusion, decreased decision-making abilities, lowered inhibition, risk-seeking behavior, and sudden death. In order to quarantine this effect, handling of these materials is restricted to lower-level personnel who do not have managerial responsibilities. Warning: the following file includes samples of SCP-4526 material that carry the potentially lethal effects, and is only accessible by low-clearance personnel. High-clearance personnel who require access to sanitized copies of the material should contact the Research Director. Dear Researcher, don't worry about the above. You shouldn't be able to read the upper-level addendum, so trust me when I say that management's attitude towards this particular skip is a little more than hypocritical. Magic pills, the fountain of youth. We've all heard the rumors, most of them bunk. But as usual, there's a kernel of truth at the bottom of it all. The O5 uses some anomalies to their own benefit. It's the worst kept secret in Foundation history. This isn't to criticize them for doing so. After all, we've all got an important job here. Our world can be dark and scary. It's only fair to want to take advantage of the weirdness that makes life a little easier, a little lighter. Something that makes the world have a little more justice. Just so you know, we probably could kill Jimmy No last name. But the bosses forget, as soon as an anomaly presents them with a minor inconvenience at work, that we're not here to destroy every unusual thing that we can't understand. We secure, we contain, and we protect. And sometimes, those things protect us back. Solidarity. Research Director Elizabeth A. Donnelly.